Alrighty. So, I meant to do a stream yesterday, but I have had the most difficult time working with this editor. Um, Unreal Editor is very different from the previous editors I've done. For example, it's the other editors I've done, they use what's called additive editing, right? You start out in a void, and you build, cubes. You build your level out of like brushes, these things called brushes, and you make giant cubes to contain your level, basically, right? This editor is a little different. First off, it uses what's called subtractive editing, right? And subtractive editing is when the world is technically considered filled in, and you are subtracting things from this sort of filled in. I'm not sure if it's still called the void or not. Again, Unreal Editor is probably, of all the editors I've tried, this is probably the one I have the least experience in. And, I'm not sure if they still call it the void, but, essentially you're subtracting from an existing space, right? It's because you're filled in and you carve out from it. Not only that, but okay. I'm getting ahead of myself here. The workflow is very different from what I'm used to, and I've actually kind of struggled with it. I've heard it's easy, right? I've heard people describe it as easy, but the software itself is very old. I'm using a newer version of it that was made by the community, the Unreal Tournament community, that comes with the sort of community patch for UT99. So if you were to like download UT99, or if you download Unreal, your version of the editor is going to be slightly below this one. It's not going to have as much features as this one has. But anyway, I had a lot of trouble, like, not only trying to work my head around how this editor works, but also like the workflow. It's not as forgiving as like Trench Broom or something else is. Like it's very destructive when you do editing in it. Like when you if you compile your map, you lose all of the brushes that you have. Like all those brushes are basically erased. And if you like wanted to change something around, you can't really do that. So for this editor, I have a very different workflow that involves basically saving a lot. And iterative saving. So like every time you make a change, you do a save. This is so that if you want to change things later, you're not trapped. You don't feel like you have to start over. Which I feel like I've had to do a lot for this. But anyway, I've wasted enough time yapping. Let's go ahead and get on with it. So anyway, yeah. So as I said, this is a subtractive editor, and instead of adding to a void, you are taking away from, you're subtracting from it. And within that subtraction, you add parts of your level, and I'll show you how that works. So first off, you have your giant filled-in grid. It's similar to the void. And what you do is you have to, what we first need to do is we need to carve out the entirety of the entire size of our level, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to right-click on the cube, and I'm just going to set the size for our level to, I don't know. I'm trying to think of what I'm going to have the time to do today. 1024. We're just going to do 1024 by 1024 by 1024. And we don't want to make it hollow. We're just going to hit build. And as you can see, a cube is generated in this little in this void. I'll just call it the void, even though it's technically filled in. But As you can tell, nothing has been added yet. You know, usually in other editors you press enter, but here, after you make your initial square, you have to go ahead and hit the subtract function, right? Remember, because this is filled in world, or subtracting from it. And the moment I do that, we have what's going to be the level itself, right? Everything, the entire level is going to be built within this little cube area right here that we've defined. Now, you may be wondering how you move around in this editor, and again, it's very different from, you know, trench broom or hammer. Like, to move around, you have to hold down left click, right? Hold down left click, and to move and scroll around this little area right here. To look around, you hold right click. So when you hold right click, as you can see, up, down, left, right. This is how you kind of just look up and down, like you're stop panning. It's basically that's how you look around. I can't remember the word for it. And to pan, you hold both the left and right click. You go up and down, and side to side, and it's universal for all the windows in here. Again, it's pretty weird to get used to. It's pretty hard to get used to. At least it was for me. Another thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to turn on real-time previews. Because real-time previews is not enabled by default, and you're going to see me scrolling around and clicking all those buttons. All right, so now we got our world done. We're gonna go ahead and save it. Again, you want to save often. Like, not only is the workflow kind of destructive, and like it's kind of hard to undo changes once you make them. You know, this editor also tends to crash. So what you're gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna put it on standby because I don't know what's gonna come up if I do this. Hit save as. All right. I'm gonna go into my maps directory, UT99, and I'm gonna go ahead and create a new folder. I'll go ahead and show it to you. We'll call this. We'll just call this mess. Why not? How about that? We're messing around, but the level is also going to be a bit of a mess. So yeah, we'll just call it mess, and hit save. And okay, there we go. It seems to have saved. Yeah, okay. You can see it's confirmed it's saved up there. No permissions issues this time. So obviously we're going to change these textures later. For right now, I'm going to go ahead and I'm trying to think of what to do. Tell you what, we'll make it just kind of like a basic platform with maybe like two things that lead to houses, kind of like just giant, which will just be giant cubes. And you're gonna notice once again you have to press this little cube button right here, and we're gonna go ahead and adjust our brush to let's say 128. And this is important. I'm using very specific values here. You want to use anything that's a power of 16. For a couple of reasons. One, that's how the textures are made. And two, this editor again doesn't like values that are not 16. You'll run into issues when you compile the map. The geometry of the map won't quite align with how it's compiled, and you'll kind of phase out of the map. You'll clip through the map, and we want to prevent that. So keep it to powers of 2, and you also want to make sure that your all your brushes are aligned with this little grid that's kind of neatly laid out for you. Otherwise, it doesn't like it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit build, and you'll see our new brush has appeared there. We should be able to see it in our 3D view as well, right there. And you know what? I'm wondering if this map is going to be big enough for us to do what I want to do. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm gonna widen up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and subtract. I'm going to make it bigger. I'm going to go for 2048. Nope, not 2046, 2048. 2048. 2048. Yeah, that's a lot better. I'm gonna go ahead and just subtract that. There we go. And since we no longer need this, I'm gonna delete this old brush. It's there, because it's just kind of in the way now. Now I'll build a tinier brush here. No, not 265, 256. What I want. That's a lot better. Okay, and we're gonna change the height. I think this is the what I want to change. Yeah, that's what I want to change. Make it flat. Make it like a platform. In fact, I'm gonna make that a little smaller. I'm gonna change that to 64. I just want that to be a little thinner. Thinner still. I want 32. Yeah, I'll stick with 32. Now, much like Trench Broom and stuff, you can do vertex editing. It's just a little tricky, right? Oh, and by the way, how you move the brush, I forgot to mention this. How you move the brush is you have to hold control. Hold control to move this little brush around, right? And hopefully, yeah, it's still on the grid. Okay. Hold control to move it around, and you hold, yeah, it's controlled left click to move it around. And to rotate it, it's control right click. Right? Yeah, and you kind of do, you move side to side with your mouse. Again, very strange. And to move an object up and down, you hold control and you do both clicks, both left and right click, and it will move the object up and down. All right. What was that? All right. So we're trying to build our platform. Again, you can kind of drag out this vertex by holding Alt. And hang on, I had to make sure. Holding Alt, and you can drag this vertex over there. And you get this weird. You can see, you kind of see, I grabbed the bottom vertex, and it kind of went out kind of screwy like that. Typically, you don't really want to do that. Typically, instead of doing vertex editing in here, I'm trying to undo the brush here. Instead of doing vertex editing like that, you instead just want to like input the math directly here. So I want to make this a little longer. So I'm gonna say this is 512. There we go. Yeah, I think that's good. We'll go ahead and say this is good. But first, you know, we kind of want the textures of this to be different from, you know, the background, so that we can see what we're working on. Also, I'm going to turn down my mic a bit because I seem to be peaking. All right, so basically, to change the texture, it's actually, this is the more simpler part of the editor. You just kind of click on this little textures button that's at the top. This little texture browser at the top. And you just hit open from the little file drop-down menu. And you can see you have a bunch of like texture packs here to choose from. A lot of them. So I'm just gonna use UT Tech 1 as a texture thing, and I'm gonna import all of those textures. And you can see you have a bunch of new textures to play with, as well as like various sub sort of categories in this kind of package. We've got snow, got like a flare. a star. Pillar. To use base. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go ahead and hit build, or I'm going to hit add. So instead of subtract, we're adding, right? We already subtracted from the space, so now we're going to add into the space that we subtracted from. And there we go. We have our little floating platform here. And either end of this platform, I'm going to go ahead and we're going to add a different brush. We're going to add like 2 cubes at either end of this. That will kind of act as like the home base where the opposing team will kind of spawn at. So yeah, I'm just going to go ahead and continue building this out. I'm going to hit the cube button. I'm going to right click and I'm just going to do 512 by 512 by 512. That's going to be our very, very basic house. Move that right here. And we want to move this up, so I'm going to go ahead and hold go to the side view here. Just kind of move this up. There we go. And what I'm going to do is I'll make the building a different texture. Yeah, this is very basic. Because I don't have... I usually like to do these things in about like an hour and a half, 2 hours, but Unreal Editor, just trying to do it has taken me a little longer to make a level, just like a basic level. Again, that's just skill issue. That could just be me. But go ahead and do red base, I guess. I don't know. R base. We'll hit build. Oh no, we'll hit add. And there we go. Actually, you know what? I just realized something. Because these are going to be, these are going to have interiors, we don't want these to be solid. We want these to be hollow. So we're going to go ahead and change that to auto. We're going to hit build. And you're going to see like these, there's like a square within a square now. In the little outline of the brush. Now I'm going to hit add. And I'm going to go ahead. And drag this now. Well, we've built that. To the right. And we're going to... It's a very narrow walkway. I'm going to move this to the right and... yeah, be a new base. That seems appropriate. Just make sure it's a little off of our thing. Looking at the right here, the bottom right, viewport. Yeah, we'll go ahead and make it out of this texture. We hit add. There we go. We have our red and our blue kind of buildings. So, now that we have our 2 buildings, we're going to save again. We're going to go ahead and we're going to save again. We're going to go ahead and save as. We're just going to do mess 1. We're just going to do incremental saving. Because again, nothing screwed up yet that I've noticed. In fact, why don't we go ahead and test out our map? Oh, I forgot. So to test our map, we need to add some things or entities. But in Unreal Editor, they're called actors. And again, this actors is kind of weird in Unreal Editor. There's a couple of things that you wouldn't necessarily consider to be an actor, but are treated as such. They're organized as such. But we'll get to that later. First off, we're just gonna go ahead and add a light to our level. And yeah, I'm just gonna right click and I'm gonna add a light there. And I'm gonna make this light super bright. And to edit the light, we right click and we go to engine light properties. And here's all of the properties that that the light entity, the light actor has. If you're familiar with object-oriented programming, this should be familiar to you. This is kind of like an inheritance tree. So this light inherits from all of these kind of other classes here. And you know, if you do, you know, a lot of programming, that this should be familiar to you. I'm not going to go into it. There are plenty of courses if you want to learn how to code. But this is more of a, I'm just kind of like, you know, trying to mess around and show you a little bit of how this editor works. And hopefully making as few mistakes as I can along the way. So let's see, we're gonna look at our properties. I'm gonna go to lighting, and I'm gonna go ahead and up the radius. I want this to kind of be super bright. I'm gonna go to 255, and we're not gonna change anything else. We're gonna just make it that. We're just gonna go ahead and raise this up here. Again, I'm gonna hold control. I'm just gonna raise it all the way up. And that should be that. It looks pretty even. All of my viewports here are pretty centered. I'm gonna go ahead and right click and hit actor align to grid, just so the actor is not, you know, off the grid. Again, that could lead to weird BSP issues, but we're not gonna worry about that right now. And then now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna right click on this platform and I'm gonna hit add player start. And with that, we should have everything we need to start this level. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna save it again, and we're gonna hit save as 2, and we're now gonna build. We're gonna build the level. We're gonna build all. Okay. So you'll notice the viewport changed. Now we have like the proper shading of this map. As you can see, we have the walls here. I don't remember changing the texture of the walls to this, but it actually kind of looks cool. I actually kind of like how that looks. And that, I probably changed something that I didn't realize I changed, but anyway, I like how this level looks, so we're gonna go ahead and play it. Play map. Oh boy. Let's hope we can start window. Okay, it is actually windowed. And I'm gonna hit start. Oh, okay. So we got to turn off the AI spawns, because we just have one spawn. All of the enemies and everybody just spawns in one place, and they all kill each other. So we're not gonna do that. Anyway, now that I've gotten rid of all of them, here is our little map level. You know, it's very tiny. It's very claustrophobic. But yeah, this seems all right. Seems okay. That nothing's clipping through anything. And if I jump, I should probably die of fall damage. Oh no, I don't. Kind of just down here now. Probably want to add like some sort of kill box, some sort of kill zone, in case somebody falls down there. But we'll. Do I want to add a kill zone though? Ah, screw it. We'll figure it out. We'll figure out something. So anyway, now we're obviously wanting to access these little interiors. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna do a cube, do another cube, right click. We don't want it to be tessellated anymore. We want this to be false, or we don't want it to be hollow anymore. And we're also gonna make it a lot smaller. We're gonna make it 256. Actually, I don't know, maybe... Yeah, we'll make it 256. 256. 56. Obviously, we're trying to make a door, so we kind of want it to be taller than it is wide. So we're going to go ahead and do this to 128. Okay, maybe not that one. 256. Make this 128. There we go. A little better. And we're going to want to go ahead and move this down here. As you can see, okay, real-time preview automatically turns off whenever you play the game, so just keep that in mind. You have to turn all this back on. The door looks a little big. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go ahead and... I save... No, I won't save. I'll just see what happens here. I'm going to go ahead and hit subtract. And there we go. We see the inside of our little cube right here. Go ahead and... I'm going to save increment. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a light here first. Actually see what's going on in there. And I'm going to go ahead and save as. We're going to save incrementally. We're going to do mess 3. And we're going to go ahead and build all. And we're going to test this out. Remembering to kill the pawns. Kill the that's what the engine calls the bots, is pawns. You have to run the kill pawns command, in case you're wondering. The door is a little tall. It's a little tall. Oh, and I died again. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and load the previous save. And yeah, open mess 2. And we're going to go ahead and make the door a little less big. Again, you have to do this. It's really hard to undo what we just did when you build the level. So we have to revert our saves. So again, we're gonna do this. I think the last time we did the height as 128, or was it 256? I think 256 was our previous height. See, that doesn't look as tall as I need it to be. I gotta do a bit of probably gonna do 144. Give me a minute here. I do some math. Let's see here. Yeah, okay. Then we'll do this as... I want it to be very thin, so we will do this as 64, I think was what we did. Nope, that's the wrong. That is the wrong I wanted this one. That might be a little too thin for our player. We'll do 80. Should work. A little fatter, gives us a little more room for our player. So yeah, I think that's good. I think that's good. We're gonna go ahead and subtract that. Now we see the inside. And we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna save again. Oh no! Oh, we need to re-add our light. Now we're gonna save again. So save as, and we're just gonna overwrite our mess 3 here. Yes, I want to replace it, and we should be able to build this. There we go. Oh. Do that. Oh yeah, that's perfect. Okay. It's perfect. Kind of what I wanted. Again, very, very narrow map. All right, so now that I like that. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and copy this brush. Oops, I accidentally grabbed the light. I did not want to grab the light. I want to grab the brush. I want to move this all the way over here and run the same subtract operation. And of course, we're gonna add a light. All right. So we have our 2 kind of spawn rooms here, and we'll probably want to we're gonna want to change the spawn a bit, obviously. So we'll add. What do I want to do first? I want to add like a kill zone to the bottom. What I could do is I could add something called a mover to the bottom of this. So a mover is just like a platform that as soon as you get on it, it goes up and down. So that, if players fall down, they can come back up. Again, I don't really have a strong direction here. Let's see, so I'm going to right-click the player's start properties. I'm just going to look at some team number 0. Okay. Oh, okay. We don't want 51, definitely. Okay, well, I'm gonna try and fix that problem that we're having with the all the AI kind of spawning on the thing, because that does kind of annoy me. I'm trying real-time preview again so I can actually see what I'm doing. And it always turns off when you're doing this. And again, to rotate the player, you just you click on him, and you just kind of rotate. You right-click, you hold control and hit right-click. That's how you kind of modify that. So this will be, I believe this is team 0. Okay, this is team number 2. We'll make it team number 1. Again, you could use 0, but I'm just gonna make it 1. And what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna duplicate this. Move this over here. I'm gonna duplicate it again. changing the team should fix the problem, but I'm not sure. Again, it's a little finicky. And then I'll make... I might actually have enough room, honestly, to get everybody to spawn in without dying. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy, duplicate, just move it over here, then rotate it so that it's facing the door. And we're going to duplicate it again. We're going to duplicate it again. Oh, wait, no, actually, we want to change the properties of this. That's right. I'm going to select both of these and change the player start to team number 2. And then we're going to want to duplicate. And we'll see if that fixes our problem. I'm not sure if it will or not. Again, I have very little experience with this particular editor. I'm gonna go ahead and hit build all, and we're gonna hit. We're just gonna play, see what happens. Oh, nope. Okay. It kind of works. I did get killed at spawn though, but then there's probably a property or setting you can turn off so you're not like running into anybody else or teleporting into people. Also, this is team deathmatch. Alright. The solution is probably just unironically adding more spawn points. But, alright, so we got that done. Tell you what, why don't we make the bottom of the map more interesting? Let's turn it into an ocean. So how you do that, so how water works in Unreal Editor, rather than, say, something else like Hammer or something, is that water is not a texture, it's an actor. It's considered an actor in this, I mean, there is a texture associated with it, which I'll show you, but it's very, very interesting. So what we're going to do is we're going to create a flat brush. You're going to see it. Oh, whoops, I didn't mean to grab the spawn. I wanted to grab the little sheet here. And we're going to change the size of the sheet to the size of the cube that we're in. So, oops, I didn't mean to hit subtract. I accidentally hit subtract. I did not want to do that. Sometimes I absent-mindedly press a button I don't mean to. Anyway, we're going to change the sheet. No, not the cube. We're going to right-click on the sheet. We're going to change it to 2048. By 2048. That should be the size of our cube. It's actually almost... Oh no, it's just because it's a little higher. And we're going to go ahead, we're going to bring this down. Look at our front view. Bring this all the way down. So there's like a... it's almost like a... this would be where our water level is at in this little giant arena. All right, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna go back to our textures, and so first we're gonna set the texture for the water level, right? This is the first thing we gotta kind of do. I don't know if this texture pack actually has water. I'm gonna have to introduce another texture pack here. I'm gonna hit open, and I'm gonna use Gin Fluid. And as you can see, there's plenty of different fluids in here. We're gonna use the water one. Specifically, we're gonna use this one. Or maybe this one. Oh, fuck it, we'll use that one. What we're gonna do is we're gonna hit add. And there we go. Here is our water in our little, I don't know, arena thing. Anyway, so now that that's done, we have to do another thing, right? So we have the texture set, but this doesn't actually do anything. Like if you were to go in the game, you just fall through this. Instead, what we have to do is first I'm going to actually right-click on the surface properties and make it translucent. And I'm going to make it... I'm going to add some UPan, maybe? Yeah. Make it look like the water's moving, even though there's nowhere where the water's coming from. But we'll just add a bit of UPan to make the texture move. And after that, we're going to go ahead and we're going to add a special brush. So how Unreal Editor works is, how making water in Unreal Editor works is that you need to, you need to have a special zone designated for it, right? That's how a lot of the sort of unique, gimmicky stuff that you see in Unreal turn out. You know, a lot of people don't like that word, but it's, you know, how a lot of the gimmicks in a lot of the multiplayer levels work is that they rely on these things called zones. And you have to designate a zone using a special designated brush right here, which is under the add special brush function. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to hit add special brush, and we're going to use the water brush, right? And this special brush is already on the brush that we moved down here, right? It's considered to be, you know, it thinks we're using the brush that we just used to make the water texture. So we're also going to make it so that's translucent. And we're going to make it so that it has zone portal. This is incredibly important because that zone portal is what separates this part of the map from the other parts of the map. The effects that happen in this specific section stay in this specific section of the zone because of the zone portal. It's a little hard to explain, but it's just how it works. Take my word for it. I'm gonna hit OK, and with that, our special zone is almost complete. We actually have to add one more thing. So, oh, and just to show you that it is in fact a different zone, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna save as I'm gonna do another incremental save here. And you'll see right now, it's not, I'm going to go to what's called the zone portal thing, and you'll see that it goes from our, in the viewport, it changes from our dynamic lighting and textures to our zone view. This is incredibly important if you want to make sure your level is properly zoned off so that your effects in those zones can, like water, can actually work. And you'll notice that right now it's not considered separated, right? It's still the same color. But what I'm actually going to do now is I'm going to build the level, and it should, fingers crossed, read it as a separate zone. And there we go. As you can see, this is considered zoned off. Whatever happens in this part of the level is contained to this part of the level. Whatever effects, whatever entities, or however you want to call it. So, one final thing we have to do, though, is that we have to tell the engine that this zone is a water zone. Now, you do that is you have to go into our actors. Remember, our players, our lighting, they're all considered actors here. And what you have to do is you have to go into the actor class browser, and you'll see all of the types. Again, if you do object-oriented programming, you'll recognize the structure immediately. You have, you know, your brush class, and under the brush class is the movers, and under the movers is different types of movers that all inherit from either mover or brush or actor and whatever. And, you know, you obviously have all the you have access to all the properties of those. Again, that's a separate thing, but if you do object-oriented programming, you should recognize the structure. But anyway, what we're looking for is zone info. Where the hell is zone info at? Should be under info. There it is. Info and then zone info. And then under here, we're gonna find our water zone. And all you have to do is you just have to click on it in the active class browser, and you're gonna right click on here. And you're gonna see our Unreal Share Water Zone class right here. We're just gonna hit add. We're just gonna right click and hit that. And there we go. Now the editor knows that this is supposed to be water, and it'll apply all of the effects and stuff for water to work. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna go ahead and hit build all, and we're gonna go ahead and test this. Actually, I'm gonna go ahead and remove the translucent edit property, because that doesn't really look right. Kind of just, it kind of, the texture just disappears under the shadow. We could add like some lighting under it though, maybe just to get rid of that here. I'll add some lighting here. Oops, I don't want to move the brush, I'm gonna move this. I'll kind of give some life to that so it's not completely dark. Okay, we're gonna build all again, and we're gonna go ahead and hit play. Okay, you guys see it? Probably gonna die in the first thing. Yeah, there we go. Now, if I drop down here, there we go. We got water. We're not gonna fall through it. Fortunately, we can't get back up there. So I'll go ahead and solve that problem. I'm thinking maybe, you know, we add platforms on the side of the level so that you can rejoin, you know, your compatriots up here. Maybe we'll add it to the back of the bases. And, you know, you kind of like travel back up to the base, and you can kind of like, I don't know, shoot people. Yeah, this is not a great map, but again, I'm trying to do this as time efficiently as possible. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna add a mover. Add a mover. Again, it's similar to how we did the water. It's a special brush that we have to do. But first we need to map out our brush so that our mover makes sense here. Oops. I'm gonna want to add real-time preview as well. Our texture's not moving here. Did I do something? Uh-oh. Oh. There's something here that was these two different textures. What happened? That might be an editor bug. I don't know why it's doing that. I consider these two separate textures. So I don't know why it's considered. There we go. Weird. Might be how the map cut. The BSP cut the map. But anyway, we fixed it now. Alright. Where was I? Alright. We're gonna go ahead and... Oh, we don't want the sheet. We want the cube. Again, we want a very thin platform, so we're gonna turn this height to 32. And we want it to fit behind this little base area right here. I'm gonna go ahead and move this over to here. And I'm just gonna kind of work off of this top view, see how big we need to get. So I'm already happy with the height. Where'd it go? Why is it? Why can I not see it? Oh, it's over here. Okay, I'm looking at the wrong side of the map. Actually, no, it could be a little thinner. We'll go with 16. That's just to ease the player getting on it. Players should be able to get on it just fine, but you know. We'll widen this a bit, definitely. How about 512? It should be... Okay, wrong. Okay. That was the wrong value. Change that back to 128. Um, 512. Yeah. Now... change it to 256. It's a little... Okay. 240. Okay. This will be kind of like the platform. Kind of takes the player like back up. Should be enough room, right? Should be just enough room. Yeah, there's like it's a just tiny bit of clearance. In fact, I'll go ahead and move this a little further back. There's a little more clearance. Again, as I've said on previous streams, I'm doing this by the seat of my pants. So I'm happy with that. What we're gonna select a texture though, because if we do this right now, we're gonna have our water texture selected. We don't want that. We're gonna go back to UT Tech 1, and maybe it seems like a nice panel. We'll use that, and we're gonna hit add. And there we go. That's our little platform. Gonna turn into our mover. Actually, wait. No, yeah, you know, Actually, no, you know, I didn't want to do that. What I wanted to do, so yeah, again, you need to do this in a specific order, because like if you do that, you have like a mesh there, and you don't really want that. What you want is you need to add the mover. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have that texture still selected, but I'm going to add the mover brush. And I'm just going to click. All you have to do is you have to click on it. You'll notice that it turns purple. Purple designates the mover. And what we're going to do is we're just going to kind of drag the original brush away, and now we have our little mover brush right there. And to do this, you need to, or to make this work and show up and be a physical object, you need to like right click and hit show polys. Now, what you have to do is you have to rebuild the engine. You have to rebuild the level after you do this, every time you do this. So don't worry, I know it just disappeared, but after you hit build all and you show about the polys, it'll show up as a physical object. Okay, so how movers work, it's a little finicky. So what you do is you have to right click on the mover, hit movers, and you have to select key 0. It tells the mover that this is the base thing, right? Then, while not having moved it, you need to go click again, right click again, and do key 1, and then move it to the position that key 1 is in. So I'm going to do that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and hit Control, and I'm just going to move it to the key 1 position. It'll hopefully be right there. And now that's considered to be in key 1. And to prove this, I'm going to go ahead and right click on this and go ahead and see here. Nope, I don't think I right clicked. There we go. Movers, I'm gonna hit key 0, back down here, and I'm gonna back off for this so that you can actually see what's going on. If I hit key 1, if I right click again and hit key 1, actually get it. There, it's up there. So, we're gonna demonstrate this in game. And we're gonna do it again. So we're gonna save as. We're gonna hit mess 5, and I'm gonna go ahead and hit build all, and we're gonna play the map again. And we should see it. Uh-oh. Okay, never mind. It did not show up. It was very unfortunate. Did not show up. Why did it not show up? Oh, maybe it was at the top. Oh, okay. I made a mistake. I made the platform start at key 1, and okay. So right now, the position of the mover is in key 1. I forgot to set it back to key 0. When you set it back to key 0, that's where it'll, like, whatever key it's on when you build the map is where it will start at. So I didn't want it. I want this to be back at key 0. There we go. I'll hit save as. And go back in. There we go. There it is. I should be able to. Oh, and all right. I don't think our platform is low enough for the player to get in. So, what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna lower it. So, with it key 0 selected, I'm gonna go ahead and lower this into the water. The player has an easier time getting onto it. I'm gonna try on real-time preview again. And now I'm gonna right-click. I'm gonna go to key 1. You'll notice that key 1 dropped a bit in height, so we're just gonna go ahead and lift it again so that it's at the proper space. And then I'm gonna right-click again, put it back to key 0, and it. Okay, good. It's under the water. We're gonna build all again. Hopefully, this should have solved our problem. Okay. Oh, it's on the side. Okay. I started on the other side of the map. Okay, it's still not low enough in the water. All right. We're gonna lower it even more. And I'm gonna go ahead and right-click, do what we did previously. We're gonna right-click on key 1, and you'll notice it kind of dropped to the equal height that we dropped the key 0. Now we gotta right-click it again and make sure it starts at where it needs to start. And we're gonna build all again. Play. Work. You touch it, and there we go. We're up here. Now we have like a little thing up here and avoid the bloodbath. Alright, so with that, we're just gonna go ahead. We're gonna do the same thing on the opposite side. Make the map a little more symmetrical, and to do that, we're going to take the brush that we used to create the original platform. We kind of moved it off to the side, but now we need it again. And I'm going to go ahead and hit real-time preview on all of these again. There might be a setting to make it so that it doesn't automatically turn off, but it doesn't automatically turn off every time you run the game, but I do not know where that is. So We're going to come back over here. It should be at the same height that it was. Okay, no, it's not the same height. We need to kind of eyeball it here and make sure it's on the same grid line as the other one is. And just kind of... That looks alright. Alright, it's good enough for me. Okay, so we're going to do the same thing we did last time. Again, we're just going to hit Add Mover Brush. We're going to drag our old brush out of the way. We're going to do this. We're going to right-click this. We're going to say, hey, this is key 0. Then we're going to right-click again. Hey, this is key 1. And then we're going to move this all the way up to the top. And we're going to go ahead and leave it there. Right-click again and get a handle on it. Move back to key 0. Okay, good. It knows exactly where it's supposed to be. And so now we're going to build again. And both paths should work.
Anyone else want some?
There we go. This one should also work. Well, this one has old textures. We can fix that. Anyway, kind of come back up. So both platforms work as we intended them to. And yeah, the textures on this are a little screwy. To fix that, we'll just go ahead and right-click. Come on. Right-click. Movers. Show polygons. Oh, that's why we didn't do this. Show polygons and then build. That's what happened. Okay, there we go. That'll change the texture. That should fix it. Yeah, every time you do show polygons, you have to rebuild the map. All right, so with this, I'm thinking, I don't know if I should reach into making a skybox or not. Have like a cool background. They didn't show how to make a skybox in the earlier in the hammer one. I'm thinking it's an hour already. I think I might be. You know what? Let's attempt to make a skybox. Let's take a risk here. We'll make a skybox. But first, we're gonna save our progress so far. We're gonna do mess 6. We're gonna save incrementally since we kind of have what we want. And to make a skybox, you're gonna make another room in the void. Right, you're making and it's the same thing in Hammer. You're essentially making a separate space which is where you're going to place very special entity that will act as a camera and will, through trickery, make it so that it looks bigger than it actually is. It'll basically make the background a lot more dynamic and a lot bigger than this little tiny. Feel a little bit bigger than this little tiny contained cube. So what we're gonna do is it's just gonna be like when we started making the level. We're gonna go ahead, we're gonna add a cube brush, and this one doesn't need to be as big as our level is. It can actually be kind of small. In fact, in Hammer, I think you have to make it so that it's like 1/16 scale, I believe, if I remember correctly. Compared to like the actual map scale. But here, this is an older game. It's not as important that we do that. Plus, we're just kind of doing this, as we go. So, we have our cube right here. It builds. I want to see a side thing. Oops. I did not want to do that. I accidentally grabbed our mover. There we go. And our real-time preview is off again, so I'm gonna have to turn that back on. So, to make this skybox, I'm just gonna make sure it's kind of separated from just everything else. Everything does not exist. I'm gonna want to make it a bit bigger than 512. Like in 1024, 1024. A little flatter than I'd like. I'm gonna change just to 512. Yeah, that's kind of all right. That should be big enough to contain what I want to make and kind of show you how it works. So what we're gonna do is it's just gonna be like when we made our first cube. We're gonna go ahead and subtract. And actually, no, hang on. We don't want to subtract first. We want to go into our textures, and we're gonna want to use. There are very special textures that are exclusively designed for skyboxes. I don't know what they all are. I only know the names of. I know these Shane Church, Shane Day, and Shay Sky, I think, are all skyboxes. Or at least I know Shane Day and Shay Sky is. I'm just gonna hit Shane Day. And I'm gonna go ahead and this is okay. So you gotta imagine that this is basically at the center of this cube. Our camera is where our camera is going to be, and this camera is going to do special tricks to the player to make it look like this is very far away in the distance, right? But again, it's actually really tiny. It's not that big. So first off, I'm going to do. Yeah, I'm just going to do Day Sky B. I'm going to use this texture. This is what we're going to make the skybox out of. And we're just going to hit subtract. And now we're going to see there's a bunch of sky textures here. This is going to be don't worry, it's not going to be stuck like this. We're going to modify it a bit. Blue kind of hurts my eyes though. We'll stick with it. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and add a sheet under this. No, actually, oh yeah, we'll add a sheet. And we're gonna make this sheet. We're gonna make this sheet. We don't want it. We were gonna make it 512. Actually, wait. No, what's the size? Let me go back to the textures. What's the size of the water? It's 256 by 256. Okay, tell you what. We're gonna make it we're gonna make the size of the brush 256. Right click over here. And now we have. Okay, and we're gonna bring it down. We're gonna bring it down all the way near the bottom. And we're gonna go ahead and add a special entity here. Okay, hang on. We need to build it first. Okay, so we're going to select our water texture now. And we're going to hit add. And there we go. This is kind of a... And this is going to kind of be our ocean. Our deep ocean that's under our tiny little arena. Yeah, now... Add another sheet. No, yeah, we're gonna move this to the side, and now we're gonna add a. We don't want to add a water zone. What we want to add is we want to add a sky zone info. That's what we want. We want to add a sky zone info, and we're gonna right click. And again, this is. Again, just like what I told you with the water, all these things are considered separate zones, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a sky zones info here. It went under the map for some reason, or went under the thing. We want to raise that up. And this is basically going to be where our camera lives, right? This thing is going to be a camera that takes all of the pictures that surrounds it and projects it onto the player. It renders it in when it renders it from the player's perspective, it's going to look really big. So again, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and take our brush, and I'm just going to go ahead and put it into the different axis. There we go. We want it in this axis now. And we're going to look at our textures. And you can notice it's 256 by 128. So the height is 256 and the width is 128. So we're going to want to do that. And or maybe no, actually no, it's reversed. We want 128 256. We want it to be like that, maybe. Excuse me. Why is it slightly bigger than I am? Oh, whoops. 256. I wasn't quite right. All right. And raise this up here. And all these textures lean into each other, right? So, what we want this one, and we're going to hit build. Or we're not going to hit, we're going to add. And it's upside down. So, what we're going to do is we're going to align as... We have to do one of these align functions, and I forgot which one it is. Okay, that's not it. There we go, align wall direction. Okay, that's the one we wanted. And now we're going to do the same thing with the other textures. All these textures kind of lead into each other. So, what we're going to do is we're going to take this brush and want this to be on a different axis. So we're going to do y-axis. There we go. And move this over here. Where is this? Right there. We're going to hit D-pan 2. We're going to go ahead and hit add. Okay, so that's, again, sometimes the textures don't go here, so we're gonna have to align to XY axis. I believe, no, that's not it. Align to -4 ceiling. One of these is correct. Okay, let's undo that here. Doesn't really work. Minus one tile. No? There we go. Okay. And you have to do kind of transformations. You kind of just have to play around with it and see which ones work. And the order you do them matters because it applies all those that I just did. If you get one that looks like it isn't right, you just undo it and do a different option and whatever combination of options you need. But anyway, let's continue. We're gonna move our brush. I want it back on the x-axis, I believe. Move this over here. And we're gonna hit build again. Oh no, we're gonna hit add. And it's upside down again. So... No, that's not it. There we go. Align with wall direction. And then we're gonna do our final wall. Where's this? It's over here. This is where the final thing is. We're gonna hit. We have to change the axis like this. You can't rotate a plane like you can with just like a normal cube. You have to change the axis manually. It's a little annoying. We're gonna hit DPN 4, and we're gonna hit add. Okay, it's gonna look like that. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and do what we did the first time, which was, I believe, align as one tile and align all direction. It's a little off. It's a little off. I don't know why that is. It's all the others go together well except for this one. It might be backwards. Oops, no, that's not the one I wanted. There's one tile. Align. Okay, let me... Align. We got align as auto? New? Shit, no. Well, they got this one to work, but it's not really connecting with this one. You know what? That's close enough. I'm not gonna mess around with this anymore. You can mess around with it yourselves. Yeah, I'm just trying to show you how the kind of basic concept works. Again, there's very specific ways you have to do this. You have to do kind of fancy, texture aligning. But anyway, what we're gonna do now is we're gonna make the sky. We're gonna go ahead and let's see here. From the top, what we want is I need a side view. So what we want to do is we're going to go ahead. We don't want that. And take this brush. I'm going to align it horizontally. And we're going to change the dimensions to around the size of our original subtraction cube right here. So I believe I did 512. Let's do a little bigger. Yeah, it looks like we did 524 by 524. I don't want it to be that big though. 1008. Let's try 1008. it's slightly smaller. And of course, we're gonna add our little sky texture right here. It'll look a little weird, but oh, and also we gotta raise it. So right now it's kind of intersecting. We want to raise the sky just a bit, and we're gonna go ahead and hit add texture. There we go. There's our little sky, or our sky box. And just like we did with the water, I'm just gonna go ahead and add U-pan so that's moving. And we can also make it translucent as well. How that'll look. Yeah, I don't really like it translucent, to be honest, but obviously you can also add like you can see there's a little flare texture right here. If you want, we can add another brush. I think we have time. And another brush. Scale it down a lot, around the size of this flare, so it's gonna be 128 by 128. I'm gonna move it up above this cloud, and again, I don't think you can rotate this. Let me check. Oh no, okay, you can rotate them a little bit, but like certain transformations aren't possible. It's a little weird. So you can rotate them a little bit, just not always the ways you desire. Anyway, what I'm going to do is I'm going to add this little flare texture. Oh, nope. Okay, what I want to do is I want to add this. I'm going to add the brush first. We're going to unselect the fucking the textures for this. We want to select this little brush right here. We're gonna go ahead and hit add, and we're gonna go ahead and make this masked, translucent. Modulated, maybe fake backdrop. No. Let's kind of add that there. It should look all right. Hang on. Should be able to see it a little bit through there. Not really wanting to come through, but anyway, you can add like objects in far away without it too much trouble. No merge, semi-solid. Right corners, dirty shadows, special poly, modulated maybe. Ooh, invisible. Yeah, this texture's a little. Well, you can't really see through it. Some of these sky textures are a bit more transparent than others, and they will allow you to like see through them a bit. But anyway, you can do things like that. You can't really see it from the ground, but you can, you know, you can make objects. Certain sky textures will be more translucent, and you can see through them, and you know, have your little sun effect here. I'll go ahead. Maybe I can lower this a bit so you can actually see it. Actually, no, because we already made it. We can't lower the existing thing. Whatever. I'll just leave it there. Anyway, with that done, we'll just go ahead and we have to light this like you would a normal room. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna right click We're going to add light. And we're going to want this to go up. That's our... Where's my light? There it is. We'll have it coming from the direction of the sun. And we're going to go ahead and right-click and duplicate. Duplicate, and then we'll go ahead and move the other light, the other torch, to the other side. And hopefully, actually, we want it to a little closer. Alright. Let's save incrementally. It's 7. And the last thing we need to do is we actually have to make this show up on our map, this little thing that we made. So what we're going to do, we're going to go ahead and hit select this. Excuse me, this. I'm hitting control. I'm holding control, by the way, to select multiple textures. This and this. Right click, surface properties, and we're going to hit fake backdrop. And there we go. Here is our little skybox. Ignore the corners. But our little quick and dirty skybox, we're going to go ahead and hit build. Oh boy, you can actually see the corners of the skybox. That's not what I wanted. That's a lighting issue. I'm probably going to do is I should be able to fix that by lowering the lights a bit. Just moving that closer to center. Let's build again. That is very noticeable. Maybe if I turn down the I probably want to turn down the brightness a bit. It's probably what's going on. Light saturation. Yeah, we want to turn that down. Actually, no, we want the brightness right here. Actually, hang on. What happens if I just delete these? Let's just delete these. See what happens. Okay, it's just complete darkness. Okay, what happens now? Let's build the level. Where I have a lighting thing right here, but it doesn't say it exists. I don't see it on my other viewports. Click. Delete. Right click. Want to add a light here. Where is our light at, anyway? I don't want to see it on any of our other viewports. Tell you what, let me undo. No, wait, I can't, because I think I just built it. Navigate to where our skybox is. And I don't see our lighting here. Right-click. Add light here. Am I gonna want to make these transparent? Is that what I'm gonna want to do? Move this kind of ugly. You can't see the scene. Wait, I only want to control, 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 and control, masked, translucent, flat, right corners. Maybe that's what we want. We want right corners. Then we hit build. I mean, that looked a lot better without the... Maybe we have no bottom. Look at our bottom texture. I have no idea what happened to the bottom of our box. Kind of disappeared. Okay, it's right there. It's just the lighting is a little weird. And I can't see the texture now. Oops, that's not what I want to hit. I didn't want to hit play level. Oh boy. Got a leak there. I don't know why we have a leak there. Well, it's contained. Alright, tell you what, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna load our save. I'm not quite sure what happened. And I'm gonna go back here. We're just gonna play it as is. We're not gonna mess with anything else. We're just gonna play with it as is. Now, I'm already at an hour and 34. We'll just build this. And again, the walls aren't gonna be perfect. There's a way to fix that. I think if I used a better texture, it wouldn't be doing this. Maybe here. If I replace this all with actually, maybe if I replace this with the bottom, because this looks like it's supposed to be a bottom texture, so maybe if I just do that, hit build all. Doesn't really solve the problem with the skybox though. These like bright seams. I have to use a different texture that's less. Isn't as no merge. Maybe that's what I'm looking for. That kind of works. Kind of want to move this closer to the center. Modulated. Not sure what that's gonna do. Okay, I didn't want to do that. Now they're just completely gone. Two-sided. Unlit. Maybe that's... No, because that'll just make it dark. And I'll try it. Oh, there we go. Oh, actually, that worked just fine. Alright. So we want the unlit option. Okay. That should be it. Hopefully this should work. And you'll see what I'm talking about. Oh, whoops. Okay. Forgot we loaded the save and we forgot to apply the, special transformation here. So, click that, click that, click that, click that, as well as this. We have all of our walls and stuff selected. So now what we do is we do surface properties, and we do the same thing again. We do fake backdrop. And it should work. And it didn't do anything. Did not change for some reason. Worked last time we did it. Uh-oh. Is our backdrop broken again? Now, I don't know what I did. It might be broken. And this is one of those things. The editor has like weird quirks where it's like, maybe this wasn't... And this is the Sky Zone info that we need. It is contained in its area. Seemingly. I don't think I moved it. Alright, well, we're gonna load our save again. And this is why we do incremental saves. We're just gonna load a 7. And make sure Skybox is there. Let's hit right click. Click, right click, oops. Click, right click, oops. Fake backdrop. Interesting, okay. Oh, wait, is that a Sky Zone info right there? Is that what's going on? That's the water zone. I'm wondering if there's like a different one. Maybe I accidentally added one? What if I just delete this? What if I delete it and re-add it? And this is real time, folks. This is just some of the stuff you have to figure out. Now it's not adding... I don't see it in this version of the editor. Oh, there we go. I didn't have the fucking real-time rendering on. I didn't need to reload. That's what happened. Okay. As you can see, this is what it looks like in the editor. Yeah, sometimes I psyched myself out there. I thought something went wrong. No, I just didn't re-enable the real-time previews. But there we go. Everything looks good. Everything's lit nicely. Well, let's go ahead and build all. Okay, no, we still have the issue we need to fix with the lights, but we know how to do that now. We'll go to our skybox again. And we'll click all the sides, remembering the tricks that we know. Oops. Right click, surface properties, and unlit. And build all. There we go. And with that, it should be good to go. Oh. Uh-oh. Okay, so we have a Z leak. there's the little map down there. All right. I have no idea what happened there. I'm gonna be honest. There's a Z leak somewhere in our thing right here. I just noticed our... Oh, we don't have our zone info. Because it's been dragged out into the void. Alright, let's put that back where it needs to go. There we go, okay. Must have accidentally moved this when I didn't mean to. Right. Now it should work. Fingers crossed. There we go. See our sky and pretty noticeable skybox, but you know we can kind of jump in here and around. It's a little close for comfort, but you know, given what we've done, and I'll probably add a light up here, make it look like it's daytime. I'll just add some finishing touches here, and I think I'm gonna call the level done. You know, we're at 1 hour and 43 minutes. And again, there's a bunch of stuff you can do with this editor. It's just, you know, a lot of it is not very well documented. You know, there's places you can go. There's Old Unreal. That's a website you can go to that has a lot of information about how to do more specific things in the editor. I think Old Unreal Forums, I think that's what it's called. There's also plenty of YouTube tutorials that go in depth on, you know, how to make maps. But, you know, again, it's one of those things where, you know, there's not a lot of documentation on what you can do on this, and, you know, which is a shame, because I feel like you can do a lot with this editor, but a lot of it is just hidden behind, you know, UI and layers, and, you know, there is a pretty sophisticated scripting language called Unreal Script, that you can use to modify and make your own stuff. Yeah, there it is, the Old Unreal UD 2.2 forum. That's where you want to go if you want to get information, and, you know, there's obviously YouTube. But anyway, I'm just gonna do those last two lighting adjustments there, and you know, if you want to make the skybox a little less, you can make the skybox bigger so that the mountains look a little bit more in the distance. But I didn't really want to do that for this stream, since, you know, I knew it was gonna take a bit. Anyway, we're gonna go ahead and play it again. I'm gonna go ahead and just check the lighting, make sure everything's all right. Well, there we go. Everything's well lit up here. Obviously, the texture isn't gonna quite match, but you know, just kind of the cool underwater, not underwater, cool little water area. And obviously, they added lights. Let's add a weapon. Let's add a weapon or two. We'll add like a weapon in like the water, and we'll add like a you know, before we close it. Might as well, right? This is already my longest video, so let's go ahead and the actors. I believe weapons are under actors. Let's add a weapon. Be any weapon. Under bots? No. Projectile, maybe? What is it? What would it be under? What are group browser? Or groups? No. Actor. You know what? I might actually have to look this up. Give me a minute. Give me a minute while I look this up. Forgot where the weapons are. Unreal Ed. There, but tell me what. Okay. A biogel. Okay, I didn't want to click that. Bring back the monitor here. Fragment. We have ammo. Okay, there we go. Maybe we need to move active classes only. Maybe that's. Bit array, bitmap, canvas, download, export language, level base, layer. Oh, we don't want the viewport. That's not what we want. Primitive, window base, time, subsystem. And I don't know where I forgot, I don't know where they're at. Unreal HUD, assault info, bot info, mutators. I mean, not what I need though. Is it under info? No, that's not what we want. Those are the Unreal script windows, by the way, I was talking about earlier. Inventory. There it is. Okay, it's under inventory. Okay, yeah, there's all the weapons. Okay, let's add a... why not? Let's add a rifle. Right-click. Add a Unreal rifle right here. Just kind of... put that up. I have no idea what... Is this a stock weapon? Oh, no, I think it's a shock rifle. Let's see. And, you know, why not? We'll go up here and we'll add like a rocket launcher at the top of these buildings. Automag, ASMD. Watch out. It's the Razor Jack. Is that the... No, that's not it. ASMD. Yeah. I think, yeah. It's the 8-ball. Oh, okay, interesting. Not the flat cannons, the minigun, and the quad shot. Stinger. Oh, wait. Okay, those must be like normal weapons. This must be like the... Oh, these are the ones that I'm thinking of. These are the actual Unreal Tournament weapons I was thinking of. These must be like normal Unreal weapons. UT flat cannon, UT 8-ball. That's what I'm thinking of right there, yeah. That's the Unreal Tournament launcher. I'll delete that one. We'll pull another one right here. Alright. And we just, all you do is build again and build all. That should be good. Go ahead and test it out. I think it killed that thing. Nice. Again. right, and we're gonna go down here and grab our little sniper rifle right here. I died. Obviously, you're gonna want to build like man, this is already almost a 2-hour video. I'm kind of almost in it. All right, tell you what. If you want your AI units to kind of move around and stuff and properly pathfind around the map, you'll have to add these things called like little map actors. It's pretty easy. Just go into actor. I think it's like node navigation point, I think. Yeah, you just go into navigation point, I think, and no, that's not how you do it. There is a way to do it. Basically, you have to lay down these little actor things that basically path out the level for your bots to run around. I don't remember what they're under. They're in one of these. Maybe it's not navigation point. Key point, no. Player, earthquake, location, rock slide. Is there a pawn? Ah, boy. Yeah, it's a lot of this is just trying to look for the thing you're looking for. It's not info. Again, there are ways to make your character path around the map. And I'm gonna look it up. I'm probably not gonna find much information on it, but I'm gonna look it up just so I can see what's going on here. And let's see, UnrealEd, how to do pathfinding. UnrealEd 2.2. I keep getting Unreal Engine 5 tutorials. This Control F path finding. Navigation grid. Yeah, I might have to, do I have to actually have to set up a navigation grid? That might be a bit too much for this video. Path nodes, yeah. Oh, path nodes. I don't know where they're at. I really... Can you search? You should be able to search, right? Is there a search function here? There it is. Here's control font. Okay. Path node. Okay, there we go. This is what we want. Add engine path node. Yeah, okay. So these little apples will kind of tell the AI where it can go, basically. And one there, one there. One there. Light one next to the weapon. I'm just gonna kind of put these randomly. You might need a grid or something to make these work. I'm not sure. I'm just gonna path these out. You might also have to tell them that the weapons here exist too. I'm not sure if they're... I don't think they're intelligent enough to pick them up. But we'll go ahead and... Oops. We'll go ahead and just put the path nodes right next to them so that the AI kind of gets... It'll kind of just go over them, and it's like, oh, I have that now. Alrighty. I should be able to build all. And... It should be... Yeah. Zones, portals, actors... Show paths. Alright, it kind of got it. It kind of gets it. Yeah, that's kind of how it works. Although it doesn't see a path from this node to this node. Yeah, I mean, you can play around with this and do more with it. I have another engine path now. I don't know why it's not connecting those. There we go. We can kind of... I guess I kind of have to path it off here. Path it and then duplicate and just kind of... do that, and then duplicate again, and then kind of build all, and you kind of, there we go, we kind of have a path here. Doesn't really think it can go up the thing though. The problem is it's going to be stuck up here, so maybe if it... Duplicate. Duplicate. Build all. Okay, well, I was kind of wanting this to... Okay, well, I need another node path. Again, I'm just putting these all over the level just to kind of get the node paths to get, so it knows to... It knows that if it's up there, it gets on those platforms. And this is, as the level name implies, it's a mess. Yeah, that should be it. Hit play level, and it should know... Yeah, I should know, be smart enough to know where everything's at. Oh yeah, see, he got out to try and finish. You know what? I think with that, I think I'm satisfied. We're at 2 hours. This is my longest stream I've done. So it's a bit of an endurance. I think that'll about do it. So, thank you all for joining me today. I know I said I was going to end it like 30 minutes ago, but this is the end for real this time. Hope you enjoyed, you know, sitting through and watching me make this level. I hope you learned something. And you know, I hope you have a good day, good night, or, you know, whatever time it is, wherever you live. And I will see you later. Peace out.